Good morning out there. How y'all doing? It's Mike Lewis coming to you live. Jesus is God on High Productions. I got up this morning in a somber mood. I was laying in the bed when the news flashed, and it was showing how the young lady down in Florida was sentenced to 20 years for firing a warning shot at her husband or whoever the gentleman might have been who was abusive. And you know, it kind of bothered me as to the move of what's going on, the state of the union, the fate of America, you know, the political system, just things in general, which brings me to mind, you know, the Bible declared that in the last days, perilous times would come. Men would be lovers of their own selves more than the lovers of God. And you know, it said people would even heap to themselves preachers having an itching ear. You know, people not concerned about the truth in this hour. In this hour, you know, we find it in the 11th hour, the last hour, or whatever hour you want to say it is. But the Bible declared that in the last days, you know, these things was going to come to pass. There shall be wars, and there shall be rumors of wars. There's not too many people standing up for the truth anymore. And the proof is, Florida has been a hotbed of things present and things futuristically speaking, which is to come. Which brings to mind, you know, the running of the presidency when Bush was running for president, how he stole the election from Al Gore. I mean, the ballots were not able to be counted, even though these people stood in line for countless hours to have their vote to count, and someone took it upon themselves to have the audacity to say those votes don't count. That happened in Florida. Also, something that took place in Florida many years before that was the incident in Rosewood. How these blacks that lived down there in Florida at the time was wrestled off of their land, and in that particular city because of a lie, a rumor, a white woman that was, you know, kind of loose with her living, had sex with another young man and blamed it on a black man. And instead of them investigating, which they still don't do today, they don't investigate situations. They go by word of mouth, and they hear and then they accept and they run with it. So they began to kill all the blacks that was living in Rosewood. Even till today, they have an excuse as to why it happened. They're not really wanting to admit that they were at fault. The same way with slavery. You know, slavery is a figment of people's imagination. It really didn't take place. We actually came over here voluntarily. It was voluntary servitude. But you paid restitution to others that worked here, slaved here, labored here. But the apparations for the black man has yet to be given. This is not a black socialistic or political agenda. It's just the truth of what's going on in America. And then the other thing that is kind of troublesome that took place in Florida is the young lady, Anthony, Casey Anthony or Sharon Anthony, something Anthony, who killed her daughter, who deliberately, and then she lied, not one time, not two times, not three times, but 4 times she was found to be lying on the witness stand. And they only sentenced her for the lies, not for the murder. That took place in Florida. Yeah, that's another incident that took place in Florida. So it's kind of ironic that then the last thing that happened was the Trayvon Martin execution that took place also in Florida. And since then, there have been murder after murder taking place right there in the state of Florida. And all these folks are getting off. But again, the woman who fired a warning shot, she didn't shoot nobody. She didn't injure nobody. She scared the heck out the guy. That's all she done for the safety of her own life. And for taking those matters into her hands, she was tired of getting beat, fired a warning shot, and they sentenced her to 20 years. So again, the Bible stated that in the last days, it would be as it was in the days of Noah. They would be marrying, giving into marriage, and this is taking place. And then the biggest treat of them all is what happened in the days of Noah was the morale. Yeah, morals, they went out the window. Men sleeping with men, women sleeping with women, yeah. That's what took place. Even to the point that when God decided to do something about what was going on in the city of Sodom and Gomorrah, he sent down some angels. And the angels entered into the city to Lot's house. And these people were so overwhelmed with their lust for one another that Lot said, look, do these men no harm. They are guests in my home, but I have 2 daughters. Man, 2 daughters, never been touched by a man. Here, take them and do what you want with them. But the lust one for another burned so deep that they said, man, we don't want no girls. We don't want no women. We want the men. We want to go up in the men and let the men go up in us. So what happened was God smited them blind and then told Lot and his family to get out the city. He fixed to destroy it. A couple of days ago, our president, Barack Obama, which is a constitutional lawyer, was received high accolades while he was in Harvard Law. That him understanding the constitutional law, he did something about it. According to the law, the Equal Protection Act, it gave rights to those that are gay. And a lot of people that don't understand law, branded President Obama like, he done something bad, but only thing he did was uphold the letter of the law. And in doing so, some say it might have sealed his fate from winning a second term in as a president. It's like this. He either going to be president for the second term or he's not, regardless to what you vote. It's not your choice. See, the voting process is beautiful and all, but we know that it's the powers that be that select the puppet that they put in office. So either they will put their puppet back in office, President Obama, or the next president. We already know these things is going to happen. So what is going on is this. The fate of America was decided many, many, many years ago when our forefathers who claimed to be breaking away from British rule never have. You got to go back and trace the history of America. Well, America is still in the bed with France, and they still in the bed with England. Just about every president that sit as a president today has blood ties to the throne in England. Yeah, the Queen. That's their great whatever. Auntie, sister, cousin, 25th removed. But it's all family. It's political. Every president that sits, they're a member of the family. So Barack Obama is a member of the royal family as well. But even in that, it goes down to again what the Bible says. In the last days, Jesus said there shall be wars and rumors of wars. But he said, don't you be tricked. He said, many false prophets shall rise in my name, and they're going to deceive many. You know, you had some cat last year, May 26, 2011, supposed to have been doomsday. It didn't happen. Why? The Bible plainly spells it out. There shall be wars and rumors of wars, pestilence in divers places. Before all these things happen, these things gotta happen before the end comes. He said, when you hear about the desolation and the proclamation, as it was said in the book of Daniel, then you know the end is close, but it's not yet. There's still some things that has to take place. America has totally turned her back on God. She been done that, It's proven on the money, on the dollar bill. In God we trust? No, it's in the money we trust. God said, cursed is the man that trusts in man and make man his arm. Arm means his strength, his might. And when President Reagan was in office, he did just that. He systematically began to dismantle all the military installations. And again, on this morning I was watching TV, and they were showing this island up in Hawaii that they used to colonize before Japan bombed Pearl Harbor. They knew Japan was going to cause some uproar, so they sent some young men to occupy this island. It wasn't used for commercial use. It was only used to transport the weather and the movement of what was going on. And then for 50-something days they was just left holding the bag. And it wasn't until recent that this came to light. America has done this so much. And again, President Reagan shutting down all these military installations when you had the Presidio, which watches out toward Pearl Harbor to see anything that comes its way. Well, it's shut down. Then you have the Oakland Army Base that's closed, the Naval Air Base, the Naval Supply Center. Then you got Alameda Naval Base. All these installations is closed. Now, who's monitoring who's coming into our country? No, well, he put, them satellites up in the sky called Star Wars, so we can watch the enemy a little closer. Well, anybody that got common sense when it comes to warfare know, in order to shut down a satellite or a computer, you send out a microwave shock, and it scrambles or it fries that chip. And we have a lot of things that are computer generated or chipped that runs by a chip. So when they go to pick up their weapons and then all of a sudden that microwave shock come through and you're not able to fire, or you're not able to drive, or the plane is not able to fly, or it come down crashing, you know why? Because you put your trust in man. Yeah, we're living in a day and age and where it's getting rough. And the Bible declared it'll get worse before it ever get better. It's getting worse because in order to bring order, first there has to be disorder. So it's a lot of disorder going on throughout the whole nation. Yeah, not only this nation, but it's global. It's going globally. It's out there. It's a bunch of things going on globally. Disorder globally. Why is there disorder globally? So they can bring order unilaterally. One world government. This is what they're shooting for. But that's not what this segment is about. Talking about the New World Order is talking about the fate of America. How the Bible said, you shall say bad is good and good is bad. Well, the proof was Casey Anthony, or whatever the lady named, Miss Anthony, that killed her daughter. She did an evil thing, but she's got off for the good. Then you have a woman that fired a shot, warning shot, to protect herself. For her, it's all bad. Then you had these sisters in Richmond who accidentally house caught on fire and their children died. Now you sent them to prison. No proof that they deliberately did this, but Casey Anthony or Miss Anthony, she deliberately killed her daughter. And you let her off the hook. So it's kind of hard to understand what law is and what's right and what's wrong anymore, because all that has changed. When you passed into law, it's okay for a man to marry a man and a woman to marry a woman. Well, it would make a person kind of think, how did you get here? You that's listening, how did I get here? Well, we didn't get here by two men having sex or two women having sex. We got here by a man and a woman. Whether they remained married or they weren't married, it was still male and female. Now this dude, the Antichrist or Satan or Lucifer as he's known in the Bible, he does everything opposite of what God does. God say live, he say die. God wants you to present your body a living sacrifice. Satan requires a dead sacrifice. After you done served him, his job is to kill you. God said Adam and Eve, but Satan say Adam and Steve or Eve and Geneve. That's not how we got here, y'all. We didn't get here from two men poking one another or two women laying down with one another. We got here by a man having mutual sex with a woman. And the fate of America, you have turned your back on God. So get ready for what's fist to come. That was just the beginning of woes or sorrows. The sorrows that is to befall America. We were so-called a nation indivisible with liberties and justice. Wow, justice. That's what you find. Just us in jail. Just us in prison. Just us getting these ridiculous sentences. Wow, it's almost scary to be an American today. And you know, this is why the majority of the Arab nations and the Muslim nations don't like America. One, America, you have allowed everyone to come into this country and set up whatever kind of God that they want. Well, you know, it's a gentleman in the Bible did the same thing, and he was the wisest man. And that dude couldn't handle it. And he had wealth untold. And he couldn't handle it. But he did say this before he closed his eyes. He said, all is vanity and vexation of the spirit. In America, you have become very vain in the eyes of the Creator. The one that made both the heavens and the earth. And there are you that's out there that's listening that don't believe in God, but some intelligent being or intelligent creation, however you want to summarize it or put it together. The earth just didn't evolve on its own. There is a creator, and his name is Yeshua. You know him as Jesus. Jesus is God, the true and the living God. He's the Father, he is the Son, and he is the Holy Ghost. Just as you and I are body, soul, and spirit. That's the same with God. Body, he had a body that occupied a soul with his spirit. So, you know, I just brought this this little chitter-chat out to get you to think, America, about the laws that are being changed and the laws that we are being governed by. Same-sex marriages. Now you can't tell them nothing to do. And here go the scary or the sad part. There's a lot of Christians now that will be coming, as you say, out of the closet. I think that dude R. Kelly summarized it best. They're in the closet. Yeah, keep it in the closet. Michael Jackson sung it. Something about that closet. But as Mike said in one of the songs that he didn't write, I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. So America, it's up to you. Man can't change it for you. You got to hold on to what is true, what is pure, and what is right. Two men marrying ain't right. Two women marrying is not right. But it is right for a man and a woman. And God said, for this cause, a man shall leave father and mother and cleave to his wife, which was a woman. Adam was given a woman. Her name was Eve. His name wasn't Steve. And Eve was given to Adam. She wasn't given to Genevieve. It was Adam and Steve. No. Eve and Genevieve. No. Adam and Eve. With that, I pray that you make the right choice. God bless you. Have a good day.